One of the earliest known examples of fiction is the Song of Roland. It was written in the 11th century about something that happened in 778. It has a very complicated legacy. But to skip to the part that interests me the most, it's all about bravery. It's all about betrayal. And there's a scene where the nephew of Charlemagne is fighting, and he's impossibly outnumbered, and he's able to help his uncle, who is the emperor, who's the person he's trying to serve, but he's dying. He's been outnumbered 10-1. He's had a very valiant fight, but he's there and he's dying, and he has his special magical sword, and he's holding on to it. Durandal, that's the name of the sword, and he's holding on to it, and it represents him. It represents his power. It represents his faithfulness to his king, to his uncle, to his people. And while he's sitting there and dying, one of the bad guys, or one of the enemy, was pretending to be dead. He covered himself in blood. Il contrefait la mort et gît parmi les autres. All right? So this guy, this Saracen, that's the name of the villain in the story. In reality, it's probably just some Basque guy. But anyways, this Saracen is sitting there, and he covers his body in blood, and he lies down on the ground to avoid the fight. And he gets up, and he's like, oh, sweet, I can steal Roland's sword. I'll bring it back with me, and I'll be the big hero. It'll look like I did all this fighting, and I'm the great winner. This act of betrayal, this act of cowardice, actually wakes Roland up. He beats the guy lifeless with his horn, and then he realizes that he needs to destroy the sword, and he destroys the sword so that nobody can take it. But this character, this unknown Saracen, the guy who is counterfeiting death, is one of the great villains of the story. He's not the villain of the story. He's not the person whose treachery set off everything. That's a guy named Ganelon. But really, he's a little microcosm of this kind of cowardice, to feign death, to pretend like you were not in the battle, to wait until it seems like the coast is clear and then take your shots. Essentially, to try to steal glory when you really don't deserve it. Anyway, let's talk about this new song by Drake, What Did I Miss? I give Drake credit where it's due. I think Wagwan Delilah is a funny song. I think Honestly Nevermind was a really good album. Okay? I think this song, it's a good Drake song. It's not a great Drake song. This isn't like an all-timer Drake song, but it's good. It's a good beat. It's well performed. The whole concept of the Iceman delivery, it's goofy, but it was an interesting idea driving around in Toronto. We'll talk about that more later. But I am going to pile on talking about this as being garbage. I am. Iceman, it's kind of dumb, everybody. I'm sorry. It's tepid water, man. Okay, ice means that you're untouchable, means that you can't be affected, means that you're cool, calm, and collected. You can't be icy and cool, calm, and collected while rapping in front of a bunch of guns in your compound in Texas. Okay, he's tepid water, man. So I'm going to be talking about this song. I'm going to be talking about its deeper meaning, because it's not just a song; it's also a declaration, and it's a confusing declaration. But don't worry. If you think I'm just jumping on, I make all sorts of unpopular takes. You can attack those in the comments as well. I think that new Lizzo album's good. I still think Peanuts to an Elephant is a good song. Yeah, that Lil Wayne song, that's a good song, everybody. It's better than What Did I Miss? And in case you think I'm anti-Canadian, I did a Canadian rap album review last week. Check it out. But no, this song is, I think, deeply insulting to hip-hop, deeply insulting to his listeners, secretly insulting to women. It's kind of more Diddy than Drizzy in a lot of ways. There's a lot of implied essay in this song. I don't quite know why. The reason that it works, of course, is that it's a great beat. It's a very cool medieval beat. Speaking of the Song of Roland, it feels like that. It's cool. I like these little horns. It kind of reminds me of Kid Koala's Medieval Retro Wax from 1996, where he samples Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It has that kind of feel. And this song is good. It's produced by 9 people. I don't know. I liked it when it was just conductor. I like that. I like the idea of Drake just working with one person. Him working with 9 people, to me, indicates he's just going to go back to the same assembly line, that he's not really going to learn anything from this whole beef. He's just going to keep trying to do what he did before and pretending like none of it happened while talking about it. He's going to pretend like nothing ever happened while never shutting up about it. What do you call that? What do you call that when you want something to be true and not true at the same time? Call that cognitive dissonance. Okay. I don't know. The beat changes. To me, it's weak. This is what people like about Drake is his beat changes, how he's able to go from like one part of a song that you like to another part where you're like, I don't know, I guess that's okay. He keeps on saying, let's go, and I don't ever feel the let's go. But you know what? I've listened to the song so many times by now, I'm kind of getting it. But let's get to the message. What is the message of this song? What is the message of What Did I Miss? What is the question that Drake is asking us? What did he miss? That's what he's asking. So let's take it from the chorus, all right? The opening lines. I don't give a fuck if you love me. I don't give a fuck if you like me. Okay, right now, I swear to God, you tell me right now in the comments, right now, do you believe him? Say, I believe him. I do not believe him. I need to know. If you're a Drake stan who's hate watching this, if you're a Drake hater, do you believe the words, I don't give a fuck if you love me, I don't give a fuck if you like me? You tell me right now in the comments. Say, I believe him, I do not believe him. I do not believe him. I do not believe somebody whose rollout entails driving around in the truck until somebody tells him that he is loved, that he doesn't care about being loved. I'm going to be talking about some psychological terms today, okay? I'm not a psychologist. My doctorate is in 17th century French literature. I've studied psychology through the lens of fiction, so that's the way that I think of psychology. If anyone wants to make a reaction video calling me out on all my psychological terminology and explaining why I'm wrong, I'll put that video on my channel, okay? I'll feature it in I'll feature it on my community page, okay? Seriously. But I know a little. And there's something about this line. I don't give a fuck if you love me. I don't give a fuck if you like me. He's insisting a lot. He is protesting too much, which he also did on the Heart Part 6. So I just looked it up just so we have the terminology for it. What is the terminology for this? It's called, in psychology, reaction formation. Okay, I'm going to quote the Psychology Today website. Psychology Today is a respected publication and resource for psychology. React and see if this sounds familiar to anything in the world of Drake. Reaction formation is a defense mechanism in which people express the opposite of their true feelings, sometimes to an exaggerated extent. For instance, a man who feels insecure about his masculinity might act overly aggressive. The dynamic is often summarized by Shakespeare's famous line in Hamlet, "The lady doth protest too much, methinks." This term was created by Anna Freud and her dad, Sigmund Freud, and it's called in German Reaktionsbildung. Okay? So that's what it is. That's what this is. I don't care if you don't love me. I don't care if you don't like me. It's reaction formation. Just so you know, my wife is a psychologist. I asked her about this. She's like, yeah, Skye, this is all just denial. You don't need to have all these fancy words. But I'm in my bag. Happy anniversary, honey. I'm in my bag. I'm on my porch at 7:30 a.m. and I want to throw out these other terms because I think it's more specific than just denial. Asking me how did I feel can't say it didn't surprise me. How do you feel is a question, okay? It's a question trying to get to feelings. It didn't surprise me is a way of not answering that question. Okay? It didn't surprise me. Surprise isn't actually how you feel. Like, it feels bad. I didn't like it. How does it feel? It feels bad because I thought I had a lot of love and respect from a lot of my peers, but it turns out I didn't, and I'm really disappointed. And frankly, I'm hurt. Actually, I'm a little pissed as well. To tell you the truth, I am. Drake comes out with a song like that. Sweet. Awesome. Perfect. Great. Wonderful. But instead, I can't say it didn't surprise me. In my most successful video of all time, I talk about Drake's usage of double negatives. When he said that he can't be on no predator list, something like that. And a lot of people point out, Skye, that's just African American vernacular English. Double, it's not. I mean, just double negatives are used all the time in English, right? But it still has a psychological function. Okay, can't say it didn't surprise me. I can't say it didn't surprise. So it did. I was surprised. That's what he's trying to say. I was surprised. But by couching it around this, again, I think this is more of this defense mechanism. I think he's really hurt. And I think he's trying to show he's tough instead of trying to show that he's hurt. And if he showed that he was hurt, that would be a real human emotion. That would be the kind of things that we're missing from Drake. That's the kind of things that we want in our music and from our artists is real human emotion. But Drake has actually built up this whole persona of being someone you can't approach, someone who doesn't have any real feelings, somebody who's just a cipher, who just, when he talks about emotions, it's just like a weird, like funny thing you can think about, but it isn't really real. How did it feel? I can't say it didn't surprise me. He's protesting too much. Last time I looked to my right, Utens was standing beside me. Okay. How can some people I love hang around pussies who try me? Let's go. So there's love. There's the word love. And maybe it's a question of love, because that's what I think this is. I think Drake needs love. I do. I'm not saying that like facetiously. I think he needs love. I think that's what he needs. That's what he's desiring. He's desiring for affection. He's felt like an outcast his whole life. He's an ass between two chairs. He doesn't quite know where he fits in, and he's just looking for love and respect. And he gained love and respect through his fame and through his ability to make hits. But then he abused that ability, he abused that power, and then all of a sudden people just said, well, we don't want to hang around with you anymore because we don't like this. This isn't a fun thing for us. And he confuses that with love. The people he loved turned on him. That's what love means. These people are the people he loves. He loves DeMar DeRozan. He loves LeBron James. Love? It is my anniversary. I'm telling you, that's not love. That is reciprocal transactional friendship. That's what that is. That's I'm rich and famous, you're rich and famous. If we hang out together, people will take pictures of us, and I'll get some of your shine, and you'll get some of mine. How many other people from Akron does Drake love? Just out of curiosity. Does he love a lot of people in Akron? And then we get to the repeated chorus, What Did I Miss? Which, admittedly, it's catchy. What did I miss? What did I miss? Iceman, let me tell you. Let me tell you, because this is the offensive part. The title itself is offensive. There's three meanings, I think, of this question, what did I miss? And I want to address each of them, because each of them is insulting. Meaning number one. Oh, like what happened? I'm so unbothered. I didn't even... One second. I was like sleep. Oh man, I was counting my money, and I didn't. Oh, have I been in the? I've been in the news lately. Oh man, that's why. What's been happening? Has it been good? Like I don't. A beef? What was July 4th? People are making hamburgers. Oh, there's a rap. Oh, I was in the middle. Shit, I didn't know that. What did I miss? Catch me up on all the stuff that I was completely unaware of, that I was not an active participant in. Okay? That's one meaning. Number two, and this is maybe the more compelling one, like there's something I don't understand, please explain it to me. And that's where I think the song is at its most human and its most interesting, where he's asking for understanding, like how could these people have abandoned him? And then the third example is, what did I miss? Like, give me an example of a time that I failed. But it's really this first one. It's this first one that bothers me so much, as you can tell as I did my little grill guy impersonation there. Like, what did you miss? This is called, again, I'm going back to my fake-ass psychology bag here, motivated forgetting. Okay? Motivated forgetting. A memory lapse motivated by a desire to avoid a disagreeable recollection. It is one of the cognitive mechanisms that have been suggested as a cause of delayed memories of childhood trauma. So there's one way of looking at it. That he's like, what did I what did I miss, right? Because it was so traumatic, it was so devastating, it was so unbelievably painful that he has to basically motivated forget it. He just has to sort of pretend it. Again, I said this all to my wife. She said, Skye, it's just denial. Just say the word denial. I said, honey, it's more fun if I give more terminology to it. Anyways, we'll see. Feel free to tell me in the comments. Your wife's right. But in my most successful video, I outline ways in which Drake's behavior also can be tied into narcissism. And there's someone named Elizabeth Shaw who has a pretty good site called Overcoming Narcissistic Abuse. I'll include a link to that in the description. And I think it's more than motivated forgetting. I think it's feigned ignorance. And feigned ignorance is a powerful tool of abusers. I'm going to quote Elizabeth Shaw here. Wasn't that the name of a character from a movie? Anyways, feigned ignorance is a cunning and subtle manipulation tactic employed by narcissists. This tactic involves pretending to be unaware, uninformed, or simply clueless about particular facts or situations. Narcissists use this strategy to evade responsibility, manipulate perceptions, and maintain control over their relationships. Does this sound familiar to you? It's about control. See, the issue is that Drake wants love that he can control. That's the problem. And his transactional love, he pays people, he gives them watches, and they give him love, is a way that he can control that relationship. This whole song, What Did I Miss? He's trying to rewrite history. He's trying to erase things and just sort of evade responsibility, evade accountability, manipulate perceptions. Oh, I'm not really bothered. I didn't release that completely ass song where I went on and on about how unbothered I am while seeming super bothered. He's trying to project ignorance of not knowing. But he wasn't detached. He wasn't hanging back. He wasn't clueless. I mean, it's also a form of gaslighting, right? Feigned ignorance is also gaslighting. Because, like, I didn't know. I didn't know. Matter of fact, keeping on the domestic tip, you know, I got some chips and salsa for July 4th. And I totally got salsa all over the handle of the the refrigerator. I saw it, but I feigned ignorance. I should have cleaned it up. Anyways, so, you know, he wasn't hanging back. He wasn't detached. He knows what's happened. He knows what he missed. He knows that some guy named Drake accidentally instigated a rap beef with a guy named Kendrick. He knows that Drake made it personal. He knows that Drake lost. He knows that Kendrick took so many victory laps, it's hard to even count them. He knows that people called him one of the worst insults possible at the Super Bowl, at the Grammys, at the BET Awards, and in basically every football stadium in the country. He knows that he released a really bad song where he tried to appear unbothered. He knows that he appeared on a Sexy Red song. He knows that he released an ill-advised diss at one of the greatest basketball players of all time, and he knows that he released a fine album with Party Next Door. But most importantly, he knows something that we now know, that he used his influence at his record label to silence Pusha T. Wait, what did he miss? Oh, dude, what did I miss? What was I doing when I intentionally tried to manipulate my record label using my power and sway to defeat a rival in the boardroom who defeated me on the field of rap? 1 second. Oh, I don't even know what I'm doing. 1 second. Oops. And he knows that he's abusing his wealth and the legal system to try to make a rap beef into a legal issue. He knows that these two separate ways, he is trying to silence people who defeated him in a rap battle, in verbal combat. He's trying to use legal mechanisms, backhanded mechanisms. He's covering himself in blood. He's lying down on the ground, pretending that the battle didn't happen, and he's trying to steal that sword. He knows what he's doing. He knows he is trying to end rap beefs. He knows that. He's aware. He is not unaware. This is feigned ignorance. What he missed was the part where these actions caused the world to lose respect for him. What he missed was the part where he is now better known for advertising online gambling than he is as a musician. That's what he missed. And it's galling, no pun intended. It's galling to pretend to miss it. He knows exactly what it was. Okay, but let's take him at his word. Or let's take the second meaning. What do I not understand? So it's a whole song. And it's interesting. Actually, I want to give Drake some credit as an artist to grow. This is a song where he explains that he can't trust the people around him. So that's interesting. I can't even be that funny. That's not funny at all. He has defined his art for a better part of 20 years as being the guy who can't trust anybody. The only thing he loves is his mom and his bed. He's sorry. He is completely obsessed with loyalty and a lack of loyalty. He is repeatedly, on repeat, telling the same story over and over and over again. Person enters his life. He loves that person. He gives that person stuff. That person stabs him in the back. Now that person can be a love interest. That person can be a hanger-on and a friend. But it's the same cycle of disloyalty. It's disloyalty because it's never actual loyalty. Actual loyalty is not based on transaction. Every single one of his relationships is transactional. That's the whole problem. That's the whole issue. He is paying people to be loyal. He is paying people to love him, which is sad. It is a tragedy. It's a tragedy. The Drake story, it's sad. Sorry, there's a chipmunk down there. It's a Drake stan. So let's get to this verse. It's love for my brothers and death to a traitor, let's go. You cannot threaten. You cannot threaten violence when you are in court saying you feel unsafe because somebody threatened you with violence. I mean, you can, and he did, and I guess for the most part he's going to get away with it, but it feels so much like so much of the stuff that's happening right now, of people who are bullies and people who victimize others screaming that they are victims. Like that's what this is. Using the power that he has, which is access to the courts and a big pocketbook, right? He's using that to try to silence other people. And then when he has the space, he's like, I can do it. And all the guns? Dude, sitting on your compound in Texas, surrounded by guns? I'm sorry. I was alive for Waco. All right? What is this Drakey Koresh going on here? Wait, Branch Drakinians. Anyways, I'll work on it later. It's uncomfortable. Just standing in front of a bunch of guns, man. Like, what's the idea there? That like you're so violent? Okay, fine. But let's go through this verse. Love for my brothers and death to a traitor, let's go. She might decide to say no to me now, but say yes to me later. Let's go. Mr. Sherman, time. She might decide to say no to me now, but say yes to me later. Drake. Buddy. What? You do like not understand the problem that people have. The problem, right? The problem isn't that like the music isn't like good enough or whatever. It's like you're being accused of being sexually coercive. You're being accused of being sexually inappropriate, of abusing your power and taking advantage of women in ways that is not cool. She might decide to say no to me, implying as though her lack of consent is a decision and not just her right. All right? If someone says no to you, that's not a decision. That's like just that's what they are. That's what they feel. But the point is, might say yes to me later. I hate to tell you everybody, but I got to go back into my psychology bag here. There's a term for this. She might decide to say no to me now, but say yes to me later. This is called sexual coercion. From Healthline.com. Sexual coercion can be confusing and deeply distressing. You know what happened wasn't right, but you might not fully understand how or why. You might even believe that they couldn't have assaulted you since you said yes in the end. Here's one important thing to know. True consent is given voluntarily. If you only consent because you want the other person to stop pressuring or threatening you, you didn't really consent. Death to a traitor. This woman wouldn't have sex with me. How do those lines go together, Drake? How do those lines go together, Drake? I'm going to kill traitors. She wouldn't have sex with me, but she will later. I'm going to kill traitors. What is going on here? I'm sorry, Dennis, but the implications. There's implications, Dennis. I'm not talking to your dad, Drake. I'm talking to Dennis from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. The implications. I'm going to kill traitors. She's going to give me sex. Dude. This is the point. This is the thing that we've been talking about. If you only consent, sexual coercion includes, quote, persistent attempts to have sexual contact with someone who has already refused. She might decide to say no to me now, but say yes to me later. Let's go. Sexual coercion includes persistent attempts to have sexual contact with somebody who has already refused. Now listen, he's not the only rapper saying this. Before you jump down in the comments and say, Skye, you defend Playboy Carti. I don't defend his actions, I defend his art. But it doesn't matter. Yes, obviously. I defend Lizzo, right? There's all sorts of accusations made against many people, and some of them are very founded. That's not the question. The question is, what is the point of the song? What is the point of this whole thing? He's trying to defend his name. He's trying to say who he is. He's trying to stake his claim. He's trying to say, what did I miss? And then he's behaving in the exact way that got him into this trouble in the first place. He is showing not only no growth, he's doubling down. This is doubling down behavior right here, talking about how he's going to coerce somebody into sex. It's weird. It's not cool. Her ass is all natty like a Florida gator. Let's go. Okay, first of all, isn't Drake part of the whole, BBL brigade? Isn't that his whole thing, that he loves fake butts? I don't know. Okay, you switched on the guys and supported a hater. Let's go. These are non sequiturs. This is very confusing. He's like, I hate traitors. I'm going to have sex with this woman whether she likes it or not. You support haters. It's all mixed up. It does not follow. It's non sequitur. What's the get back for n's? That's TBD. Look at this shit. It's like a BTC. Could be down this week, then I'm up next week. We know, Drake. We know you're a crypto bro. Don't worry. Don't worry. We know that you crypto gamble and you crypto bro and you hang out with all the crypto brodies. The brodies and the crodies. All sorts of crypto behavior. We know that you're in tight with the Nelk boys. We know you're part of the Happy Dad Brigade. By the way, if you wear a Happy Dad hat, you're wearing a MAGA hat. It's the same thing. Goes for you too, Snoop. Happy Dad is MAGA. MAGA is Happy Dad. Just how long you understand it. Whoop. Am I still recording? Sorry. My truth bomb was so great there. My computer crashed. He's desperately trying to control this battle that he lost. He's trying to control these relationships. So when he's attacking, maybe he's attacking LeBron or DeMar DeRozan, right? Maybe that's the case. In that case, he's attacking somebody who can't rap. Okay? So, there's one thing. Or he's attacking other rappers, in which case they can't respond back. That's the whole point of the lawsuit. You can't insult people on record. You can't threaten them. You can't make outrageous claims. That's the point of the lawsuit. He's trying to chill discourse. Hip-hop is a sport. As Screwface Jean would say. Hip-hop is a competitive art, as I would say. Okay? But let's pretend it, for real. Let's pretend it, okay? Let's pretend that it's a series of one-on-one, okay? Some street basketball, all right? Let's pretend we're at David Crombie Park in Toronto, okay? Down there on Scadding Street. Let's pretend it's Drake versus, Kendrick, playing one-on-one. They're playing up to 21, and Kendrick's got 20 points, and Drake has 1. Okay? So Kendrick is winning this battle, getting destroyed. As they check the ball, Drake pulls out a knife, stabs the basketball, and deflates it. Throws the ball on the ground, calls the mayor, turns off the lights in the park, and goes back home. He then records a video in his own private basketball court, calling himself a baller, saying, "I'm balling on you." He's changing the rules of the game and then telling you that he won the game after he already lost. It's cowardice. That's what it is. You can't stop rap battles and then start a rap battle when they can't fight back. You broke the ball. You punctured the ball. You turned off the lights. You used all the power that you had, all the sneaky tricks. You did it. Success. No one can do it anymore. It's cowardice. And oh my God. He says no one cares about you until the two tones come out. So he's talking about like giving watches to people. LeBron James doesn't care about your watch. He doesn't. LeBron James has a lot of money. He has a lot of money. Much like you, much like Drake, much like most of the 1% in this country, he has so much money. He is happy when things are expensive because then he has something to spend it on to make sure that it doesn't go to taxes, right? So like that's why yachts are popular and private jets, because it's like, oh, thank God we can spend some of this money that we shouldn't have, that we earned by exploiting other people. We get to keep it all. Phew. So all these two-tone watches are just ways of spending money to make sure it doesn't go into the pockets of people who need it. That's what the watches are. LeBron doesn't care about a watch. He doesn't care. So you can't act upset that you gave him a watch. What did I miss when I was looking at y'all and cooking with y'all? Looking at y'all? That's a weird phrasing. And giving out verses and bookings to y'all. Okay, so rap music involves like coming up and featuring on other people, saying this is just part of the game. Making sure your wires were hit, man. What did I miss? When you was all in my crib looking at hoes. Look, you at my crib. Look, okay, you tell me. Okay, what picture does that paint? You were at, okay, let me put it this way. Hey, I don't understand. When you were at my house and you were observing the prostitutes I had, what did I miss? When we were selecting prostitutes in my embassy? Drake, you're trying not to be a creep? Now, remember, like, what's up with the sex trafficking stuff, Drake? What do you mean at my house looking at hoes? Do you not have an image of like the White Lodge or whatever at Twin Peaks? Do you not have an image of like a bunch of women in a mansion in a room lined up in lingerie and just picking them out? Ew, it's gross. And the beginning of the verse, what did I miss when I was looking at y'all and cooking with y'all? So there's two times that people are looking at something in this verse. The first time is when he's looking at the people who have now betrayed him. And the other one is when he's looking at prostitutes. It's about control. He's looking at y'all. He has to be in control. He has to be the master of the situation, looking at these hoes. And he's upset because all the toys that he bought are broken. The toys that he bought with his watches are broken. It's not doing what he wants. It's not giving him the love that he wants. Let's talk a little bit more about the video and the rollout. I don't like that he's comparing himself to Kimi Räikkönen. Kimi Räikkönen never won a championship. He did his best. But he's one of my favorite interviewees of all time in Formula One because he's like, the third turn, the tire change, the slicks. Anyways, so you're not Kimi Räikkönen, man. And Justin Hunt had a really great comparison where he compared this blue collar cosplay to Trump when he was driving the garbage truck, and it kind of is that way. Like, it's weird. It's a weird thing to be like, I'm so rich, I have 600 acres, but also I'm going to cosplay as somebody who works in a factory. And it's particularly offensive with Drake, where like Drake has never worked in a factory, which is okay. I haven't worked in a factory either, right? But like, it's weird. Like in a time where the wealth gap is growing and the working class is getting increasingly more persecuted and increasingly more screwed over, so that the people at the top can afford another two-tone watch to give to, I don't know, SGA. Why didn't he talk about SGA, by the way? He's a Canadian who is on Drake's side, who's actually winning. Why is he still worried about DeMar DeRozan and LeBron? Those guys are like last generation. Doesn't matter. It's just weird. Also, it means that there is somewhere, there has to be footage of Drake learning how to drive a truck. It's not easy to drive a truck, man. You need a license. Commercial driver's license. And, okay. Also, Canadian truck drivers, I know, history. There's too much stuff going on. There's too much news going on. But Canadian truck drivers kind of have an interesting history in the last couple of years. Canadian truck drivers were the leaders of the Make America Great Again North movement. They were the ones who shut down the government. Do you remember that? The conservative truck drivers who shut down the government? I'm not saying this is intentional. I'm saying it's interesting. It's interesting to cosplay as a poor. I don't know. That's what he's doing. That's what Drake's doing. And it's sad. It's kind of sad because he's driving around and he just wants people to recognize him and be, hey, I know. When I was at the Kendrick show in Hershey Park, I was with my daughter and I thought it'd be cool if someone came up and said, oh my God, it's Professor Skye. I was kind of looking around. It was pathetic, man. I was kind of pathetic. Isn't someone going to notice me and say, hey, Skye, I love your work? They didn't do it. I'm admitting to being a buster, you know? But man, driving around the city, and then he has to go to Yonge Street, he has to go to the Eaton Center, he has to go to the Times Square of Canada to actually be seen. And he's just searching for the love and affirmation that he had when he was younger, walking around, and you can tell the tragedy. That's the thing. This is a tragedy. You could look at this a whole different way. The tragedy is of Drake looking at himself when he was younger and hungry and happy, and he had a little bit of recognition, and that meant the whole world to him because he had people who are close to him who he could trust because he didn't have so much money that he could turn all relationships into transactional relationships and therefore have them not be based on faith, but based on what you can get out of somebody, not based on fidelity, not based on truth, not based on any kind of oath, but just based on watches. That's what he had back then. That was when he was happy. And now he's trying to recreate not having money. He's trying to recreate not having fame by driving around in a truck. But I'm not done. He drives around and people walk up and they say, I love you. And he says, it's all love. It's all love. Thank you. Oh, you ran so fast to get here? It's love. Thank you. Thank you. But then his accent changes. His accent changes a lot, which is part of the tragedy of Drake, that there is no Drake voice. There's no one Drake voice. But someone bikes by and says, Drake's a bitch. Very funny. The way he does it, it's very funny. I have to say, it made me laugh. I don't like gendered insults, but that's a good usage of a gendered insult. Now all of a sudden, Drake says the most that he says on the entire stream. Entire stream, he's trying to play cool. He's the Iceman. He doesn't care. Oh, thank you. It's all love. Yeah, it's all love. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's all love. Oh, you ran so far. It's all good. Yeah. Oh, you already know it. Iceman, you already know it. It's all good. That's all he says. Someone calls him a bitch. All of a sudden, so what then, pussy? Don't get shy now. We'll fold that up right now. He puts on this accent. He puts on like a Caribbean Canadian accent. Drake, buddy, why is it that when you were accepting the love from everybody, you were just speaking in your normal voice? Now you feel threatened. Now you feel insulted, and so you have to literally drive your 10-pound truck with your entire team, your entire squad behind you. Your PR people are probably in the back of the truck, right? Your bodyguards are probably in the back of the truck. There's probably point people on all different parts of the city making sure that who knows what's going on here. Someone says one bad thing to you, all of a sudden you start talking, and you start speaking in a Caribbean accent, and you start threatening, and you start being violent, and you start being reactive. I don't have the answers for you, everybody, but what does it mean that when he starts to talk in a violent way, he takes on this accent? Yeah, that makes me uncomfortable. I don't think that's kind. I think that's very, very deeply weird, and I think it needs to be called out by somebody who's not me. But I'm not okay with it. I'm definitely not okay with it. Anyways, is he dissing Jay Prince on that Supermax Deal song? He talks about he doesn't like peacemakers. I don't know. Justin Hunt correctly pointed out something that stuck out to me as well. At the very end of the video, he says, somebody else has to come drive this because he's just cosplaying. He's just playing. Now, let's talk about the third meaning. The third meaning of what did I miss? Give me an example of a time I failed. He's ripping off Kanye, everybody. Junior Watanabe on the wrist. Tell me now, what did I miss? Or is it when did I miss? The point is, he's ripping off Kanye. After all this beef, he's going to rip off Kanye. Anyways, while I was watching the official video, the autoplay feature was on, and So Be It by Clips came out. And that's a good song. All right. Well, there you go. There's some of my thoughts on the cowardice of somebody trying to stop rap battles while restarting a rap battle all at the same time. Somebody pretending to feign ignorance, or somebody actually feigning ignorance. But anyways, all right. There's the camera right there.